So I just want to start off this video before we dive into the main subject. Janet Jackson saying Kamala Harris is actually white, she heard. So much irony to get to. But I put up on my community post, I urge you guys, if you follow me, to go look at it. A YouTube friend, but still somebody I would consider a friend, named Roger Domain. His name was Channel Donstar on YouTube. He liked to talk movies. He was just a really great guy. And he actually, when I had like 20 subs on YouTube, he reached out to me, and he had a lot more subs than I did. And he's like, I think you're hilarious. I think you need to keep doing what you're doing. He asked my permission when I had like 20 subs if he could use clips of mine to give me a shout out on his own channel. And he did like a 10-minute video on me, which it's on the community page if you go look at it. So I urge you to go look at it. He was just such a generous, nice guy. And he would hold these conversations it was almost like a weird, twisted version of The View on YouTube. It's like all these people from different walks of life, some of them, who love, black drag queens like Sexy Monkey. I'm kidding. Black, not drag queens. But, hey, Internet Eric here became my co-host for the podcast. I met so many good people. I don't count Eric as a good person. Like, he's okay. But, every other Sunday he calls me at 7:30 p.m. exactly. I don't know why. He'll call even if I don't answer, and he'll tell me that he's twisting his nipple as hard as he can and just shriek into the phone and leave that as a voicemail. Or if I answer, do it then. So it's kind of weird. But I remember I met so many people through this. Some were not happy I met them, and others were. I met a good group, though. That's all I'm going to say there. I met a good group. Some of us have fallen out of contact with each other. I'm thinking of people like John Steele, Jace. Some of you might not know who they are, but it was just this welcoming little group where you could talk about anything. The topic was usually cinema, but it branched out into like sex and like, I don't know, violence and like getting Sexy Monkey to like sing on camera, and it was hilarious. But it was a good time, and he died suddenly last week, and I just couldn't really talk about it, because it just really, it did something to me. I mean, this guy brought me on, he really put me onto YouTube. I was gonna quit. I really was just gonna quit, but he really did. He kept me on, and I appreciate it, and I love the guy for it. So there's that. All right, but let's get into the main thing of the video. Again, go check out my community page for more of this. I have Sexy Monkey's video tribute to him up there. It's only 2 minutes, but I think it speaks everything I would want to say. All right, Janet Jackson. She did an interview recently. Who's looking to interview Janet Jackson recently? She hasn't. Listen, I hate to do this. Everybody likes to do this whole Madonna, Gaga, Janet Jackson, Queen of Pop thing. Madonna won. Madonna statistically won a long, long time ago. And I'm not the biggest fan of Grandma. But I respect Grandma's hustle. I respect all the records she's broken. I think she still holds the most top 40 hits she holds like several records on Billboard's charts that haven't been broken in like decades, okay? Janet Jackson does not. Janet Jackson has not had the longevity that Madonna did. Even back in the 90s, she didn't. Janet Jackson was popular, I'd say, from about, she started as an actress. She's, Good Times, there was those funny episodes where she'd get beat, in the projects. It was just fun. It was a good time. It was the 70s. It happened. You ignored stuff like that back then. You didn't address it, Auntie whoever burns her with a curling iron. So what? But she really started to come into her own in the mid-'80s with songs like Nasty Girls and What Have You Done For Me Lately. And her dance, she was a pretty good dancer. She was choreographed by Paula Abdul, who later became a quasi-alcoholic or pain pill addict, I can't tell which, allegedly, on American Idol. I mean, the woman couldn't put a sentence together. Did you ever see that one interview with Paula Abdul? It was look up Paula Abdul drunk news interview, where literally she's spinning around in a chair, and the reporter, God bless reporters when they have people like that to deal with. They're trying so hard. Miss Abdul, we want to ask you, can you hear it? What? What are you talking about? Where's my martini? No. What? What? And they were basically asked, she started doing these weird movements. She's like having a convulsion, but not really. Just, she's trying to reach for the Jim Beam off camera. So she's trying to get that. And she's like, there's something wrong, Paul? No, I'm a dancer. I'm dancing. Will you shut up? Why are you saying that? Oh my God. And there's been more stories about her, but whatever. So Janet Jackson, taught her a lot of good dance moves, and it worked for her. And she had, I think, like 2 hit albums in the 80s. I'd say her big one came with like Rhythm Nation and all that, I'm not going to go over all of her career. I'm just going to give you a little brim how I grew up with Janet Jackson, so I know the trajectory. I know who was hot, who wasn't. And her and Madonna were starting to get a little bit neck and neck as far as airplay, as far as music videos, popularity even. And one point, Janet Jackson was selling out stadiums. And she did the Rhythm Nation thing that was huge. Then she did the sexy route, which I was all in for. Janet Jackson peaked in 93. Argue with me if you want to. She did. When she did the Janet album, with the guy holding her boobies and all that, it was a perfect album. It was danceable. It was passable. Loved it. And after that, she had things like Velvet Rope, and she just kind of got weirder. And then she tried to go back to sexy again. She had like maybe 2 or 3 more top 10 hits after that, but she really she peaked. She peaked in 93. That hasn't come back. And for these people talking about like Janet Jackson concerts and shit like that, looks like she's playing Foot Lockers. I'm sorry. I mean, like, but she is not selling out any stadiums. Say what you will about Grandma, she's selling out. She did sell out. And I know the last concert she did even wasn't like 4 billion people in Brazil. And I know it was free and everything like that. But still, 4 billion people had to be interested enough just to kind of, wake up and walk. I wouldn't walk 2 blocks to see Taylor Swift if it was free even. So there's got to be some kind of draw. Janet Jackson? Let Janet Jackson go there right now and do a free concert. Let's see how much she gets. And then we can talk about that. But here's what really started irking people about Janet Jackson, why she's in the news, why I'm going to make fun of her, is because the Jacksons shouldn't talk. They're not that intelligent. That's the thing. Michael either. Michael wasn't home. And, I think about that old interview with Michael Jackson. Even if he was touching those kids, which I think he fucking was, I'm sorry, you can't give me that excuse. He didn't have a childhood. So you're telling me, any of you out there who would side with him, if you had a child and you found your child snuggling with the grown man in bed, as long as the man told, oh, I didn't have a childhood, that's why I've got my hand down your kid's shorts and we're snuggling together and he's leaning on me like a lover almost, like that's why. You would be like, oh, my bad, I didn't know you didn't have a childhood. You can totally sleep with my kid. Take bubble baths with him? Sure, why not? He's only 6, but, he's got to learn what an erection is eventually. Come on, you can teach him. You didn't have a childhood. You're not going to do anything weird. But, so, Michael, it was almost like he couldn't speak sometimes. I think, I shouldn't take pictures of my genitals just because I'm in bed with young boys. And then he would just say the dumbest, like after these charges. He is interviewed by like a major news guy, and if I was his agent, I'd shut up. Don't do this interview. Look at weirdo. You've got a circus here. This is a pedophile's dream, and you're sitting here making it happen. Let's just shut up because you're getting away with it, okay? The kids are coming over. You're taking them in the secret room and diddling them and, going, hey, twist my nipple, and all that. Look, I don't know if the ex-dancers were telling the truth in the Neverland, whatever, documentary and all that. I believed one of them. The other one I had questions about because he, a little wishy-washy. But one of them I truly believe because he had nothing to gain and nothing to lose. He was not going to gain anything from it. He wasn't going to lose. And I saw kids inappropriately leaning, sleeping, like almost practically like necking with Michael Jackson in a 60 Minutes interview. That was the interview where he had, this is why I say they're not bright, because they asked him at a certain point. You would think even if he wasn't doing anything wrong, it would look bad. That you would come up with a different answer in your head. When the reporter asked him, like he did, do you think it's normal for a little child to be laying in bed with a grown man? Out. An intelligent person, even if they were up to no good, would be like, I can see how some people would think that is weird. Really, we're just like buddies, and he just wanted to crash with me, and maybe it's inappropriate to some people, but I guarantee nothing wrong is going on. No, what did Wacko Jacko say? What did he say? No, I was sharing your bed. I remember the reporter looking at him like, and I don't do anything weird, like nothing else. But don't you think it's inappropriate? What's wrong with sharing your bed? And besides, and then he actually said, I'm paraphrasing, but Michael Jackson actually said something to the effect of like, he wanted to come to bed with me because he wanted to come to bed. And the little boy's like, who's all like, probably, I think Michael Jackson gave him like a Xanax cocktail, that's why he's saying all this shit. It's like, I wanted to go to bed with Michael. I was so lonely in this big house. I wanted to get in the bed with Michael. It's like, no, stop. You're weird. Stop this shit. This is the same man. This is also why he's unintelligent. Or he thinks we all are stupid. This is how dumb he is. When he denied he did anything to his skin. At vitiligo. I've seen pictures of vitiligo. It does not turn you in to like I wouldn't even say a white woman. I would say a Caucasian Martian woman. How's that? That's exactly what he turned into. No, it doesn't make your hair all weird. It doesn't make your whole body completely white. You bleach your fucking skin, liar. You bleach your skin. Why is that so weird for us to think when you slept in cryogenic chambers and you had a guy come every night to put you to sleep, giving you some of that propofol, what they use for surgery, okay? Listen, undeniable talent. Worked hard, probably had a shit childhood. Doesn't justify him being a wacko potential pedo, which I believe he was. Then we get to Janet, who made every excuse on the planet for her brother and everything like that. And again, you start to lose me there. Like, if I knew one of my relatives was a pedo, I'm not going to be like, they're great. Well, okay. I mean, he did those 3 kids, 3 boys in the butt. Big deal. It was like 1988. And he had done coke, and he had mixed cocaine with Skittles, which does some weird reaction and makes you a pedo. All right, whatever. I wouldn't make excuses. I'd be like, fuck the guy. Keep him away from kids. I would warn everybody. If I saw the guy near a kid, and he was even like a brother, uncle, whatever, I'd go over there, get the fuck away from that kid. He will fuck your kid. He will. Your kid. I swear to God he will. Don't let that kid's gonna, all right, don't listen to me. That kid's gonna be holding his booty cheeks later crying, and you're gonna be wondering why and look at me funny. So Janet Jackson's another one who's a brain trust. She comes out and she does an interview recently with this reporter, and I don't know how they got around the subject of politics, but I know everybody likes to talk about it, but it's like, it's just tiring at this point. It's like, you are where you're going to stand. What's going to happen is going to happen. Blah, blah. So they asked her about Kamala Harris, or it somehow came up, and it came up that she's a black woman running for president. Janet Jackson decides to speak up and give her a little 2 cents, be like, I heard her father was white. Reporter's like, what? No, she's a black woman. I'm just telling you what I heard. I heard her daddy's white, and that she's really an Indian. That's just what I heard. I heard she's white. You heard Kamala Harris is white. Right. And you would know because you had a white brother. What the fuck is she talking about? This is the same chick who defended her brother and went along with the lie, like, he's got vitiligo. She should have a little bit more racial sensitivity, you would think, as a black woman who also looks like she's a lot lighter than she was. Go look at Different Strokes. Go look back at, Good Times. Looks like she's a little bit lighter than she used to be. I don't know if that's humanly possible. Maybe she caught just a tad of that vitiligo. That weird cream he was spread all over himself, grabbing his crotch in the mirror. So she sits there and she says that, and it comes this whole hubbub. And the big thing about it was, I really thought it was a mistake. I thought they were going to come out like, no, I never said that. I never said that. I was talking about my tour and I got misunderstood. And, gosh, golly darn it, I don't know what happened there. I'm just so mad, and I'm so sorry. I thought she would issue some kind of public apology. Not that she has to. If you believe that, you believe that. I mean, you're dumb, but fine, just, stick with it. But apparently she fired a manager or something like that because I guess they tried to apologize on her behalf. So that means she's doubling down and going like, no, she's white. And that woman is clearly white. If Kamal, again, I'm not going to argue about what race she is. Her dad was black, okay? Say what you want to. Her mom was Indian. Whatever you want to make of that is what it is. But I'm going to tell you from my vantage point, and you're lying if you say otherwise, if you were walking down the street and you saw Kamala Harris, you for some reason had to describe her. If Kamala Harris came up to you, pushed you down, tased you, took your wallet, and then urinated on your face while you're open mouth screaming, and you had to describe her to the police afterwards, and they said, what race was she? You would not say white. You would not. You wouldn't. You would either say, I don't know, Puerto Rican or black or something like that. You would not. She's not white. Janet Jackson over here saying whole white is just fucking hilarious. From the family that tries to make themselves as white as they can make them. I'll keep it. But you know what I have to say? For the other brothers, they kept it real the whole time. Where's their vitiligo? They didn't get vitiligo. Tito didn't get vitiligo. Jermaine didn't get vitiligo. None of the others got vitiligo. So weird. And Michael Jackson had the worst case of vitiligo I'd ever seen in my entire life. It made him like mayonnaise. It made him really love the show Friends. I mean, and here's Janet's last. And let me tell you something about Janet too, right now and stuff like that. She's got charisma. She knows a good, she's like Madonna, she knows a good bop. She knows a good sound and all that. But she can't sing. She can't sing. Like Madonna. Can't sing. What does Janet Jackson do? It's like she just sucked on a helium balloon and she's got she just blew up 100 balloons for our Party City. I don't know why she'd be doing that. Maybe it's a kinky fetish of her. She does it naked and rubs oil on herself while she does. It's a dream I might have had last Sunday. I'm not confirming or denying. But tell me she doesn't say... Even her ballad... And she said you were in town. Speak up! Speak up, bitch! Some of us are hard of hearing and we're in the back row of this shitty place. Come on! I know it's a Foot Locker, but Jesus Christ, I'm by the fucking, between the wedgies and the Air Jordans. Louder! So I really thought it was hilarious that she was speaking on, like, Kamala Harris being white. Let's address, your brother being white. Or being vitiligo or whatever like that. And I love the other quote that she put in there. I don't really watch the news a lot. I haven't watched the news in the past couple days. Then how are you able to make an informed opinion about a political candidate's race if you don't even watch the news? This is why they're not bright. This is what I mean. I'm waiting for the Janet Jackson fans. I did a Janet Jackson video like 7 years ago. Whatever. I forgot what it was about. Some weird shit. And... people just went, whenever it's about the Jacksons or Tyler Henry, the little fucking fans come after me, you're just going to be blocked anyway. So don't even bother. You can leave a negative comment. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to block it as soon as I see it's negative, and you're blocked. So if you want to waste the time out of your day, getting all mad at me, I never understood why they cared. You know what? I mean, she doesn't know you. Janet Jackson, when Michael Jackson, even if he was alive, would never call you. Any of you people that call me an asshole, or other people who don't like him or her, and say horrible things and send us horrible messages, they would never call. Thank you for doing that. I loved it. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling him a dick-faced douchebag. Janet Jackson's not going to call anybody up here who likes her and be like, thank you for saying that I don't play in a Foot Locker. It's not a Foot. It's an empty old Kmart on 44th Street. And the tickets are pretty high right now. They're about $10, but you get the VIP package where you get to meet me in the back and orally have sex with me. So you can be mad all you want to. I really don't care. If you know this channel, the history of this channel, I care about a hell of a lot. Lengthy video, I know. I don't know if you tuned in the whole time, but yeah. Kamala Harris is white.